Hello, this video is going to be week 31 homework. It's going to be a wide variety of different topics here. Now, remember for these equations here, we've been graphing these a lot right now in class with our linear inequalities. It's our y equals mx plus b. All right, we should know how to do this no problem. It's almost no reminder. Now let's just start at -4 on the y-axis. Tells me to go down 1 to the right 2, or up 1 to the left 2, and it still lands on that same point. Now, we don't have inequalities here, so we don't have to worry about solving. We just connect the points and we have our line. Now, sometimes our equations aren't in y equals mx plus b. Sometimes they're in this point slope form. We always have to rearrange them. All right, and that will first involve us distributing. So I still have my y minus 2. Now I'm equal to a 2x plus a 2. I add that 3 to both sides. We'll get the equation that we're really grabbing here, the y is equal to 2x plus a 5. All right, let's start at 5 here on our y-axis. So my slope, I need to go up 2 over 1 or down 2 to the left 1. And then we can connect with our line. All right. So when it comes time to write an equation for the following lines, that's us trying to write it into y equals mx plus b. So what do we need here? We need to find our slope, and we need to find our y-intercept. Well, what's the slope of x? We'll need to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3. Negative slope times negative 5 over 3x. And then what's my y-intercept? Plus 4. That's what my equation would be. All right. What about this one? What's our slope? I have to go up 1, 2, 3, and over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a positive slope. 3 over 5x. It's my y-intercept. Minus 3. All right. So this is what we've been getting lots of practice on, moving this into slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. All right, first step is always getting rid of that x term. We subtract 5x from both sides. Remember, these are not like terms. They can't go together. They will look like this. And then we can divide everybody by the number that's with y. So y is equal to a negative 5 over 3x plus a 10. And it's okay to leave this one as a fraction because we would need it in rise over run form anyways. All right, so here we are adding a 6. All right, and then we just have to divide everybody by the negative 2. Basically a two-step process for us. Do look out for double negatives and things like that as you're rewriting your equation. All right, so it says write the equation of the line that contains the 2 points in point slope form. Now point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m times minus x1. All right, so we know that this y1 and x1 can come from either one of these coordinate points, but I need to find my slope, right? I need to identify what that is. Now remember the formula for that. y2 minus y1 over top of minus x1. All right, so let's get this set up. Here's my y2. Here's my y1. Here's my x2. Here's my x1. All right, and what will we get here? 11 minus 7, that's a 4. 10 minus 8, that's a 2. So simplify here. And my slope is 2. Okay, so now to write our equation, it's just going to be plugging in a y1 and an x1 here. All right, so I've got y minus, and I'll choose this coordinate point. Doesn't matter which one. I'm just going to pick that one. So y minus 11 is equal to an m times an x minus a. All right, great. So 8, write the equation of the line that contains the 2 points in slope-intercept form. Identify your slope. All right, so once again, we need to find our slope. Same formula that we're using right here. So I need a 5 minus a 6. Right, and I need a negative 2 minus a negative 4. Notice we're going to have double negatives showing up here. 5 minus 6 is going to give us a negative 1 over top of double negative. And the positive, so my slope is a negative 1. Alright, so a couple options of how I can find this in slope-intercept. How I can find this in our y equals x plus b. Alright, I'm going to just plug in all the different stuff I know. And I'll use this coordinate point here as my x and y. Right, so I'm going to choose my negative 4 comma 6. And I know that m is equal to a negative 1/2. I'm going to plug it into y equals x plus b. My y is the 6. My slope is at negative 1/2. My x value is at negative 4. We can see that we can plug everything in here to our y equals x plus b except our b value. We just have to solve for it. Negative 1/2 times the negative 4, that is a positive 2. Alright? Then we can subtract a 2 from both sides. We get that our b is equal here to a 4. Right? So that means my equation is y is equal to negative 1/2 plus 4. Alright. Moving on here. You find the x and y intercepts for the following equations in standard form. Remember, x-intercept is 0 in the y direction. Y-intercept is 0 in the x direction. We're going to use this to help us find this out. So if I plug in 0 for my y coordinate, it's going to help me identify my x-intercept, right? Because that just goes away. I have a negative 3x here is equal to a 24. Divide both sides by that negative 3, and get that x is equal to a negative 8. All right. Similar process for finding our y-intercept. We're going to plug in 0 for y. Sorry, 0 for x. 0 for x there. All right, that crosses out. We have 4y equals 24. When I divide both sides by 4, we get that our y is equal to a. All right, easy way to identify our x and y intercepts there. All right, and as you get faster and faster, this you usually don't even write these 0. Right, you'll just skip right to 5x is equal to negative 40. You don't have to worry about the y, because I know it's 0 times anything just goes away. When I divide both sides by the 5 here, we get that once again our x-intercept is negative 8 comma 0. All right, let's check out our y-intercept here. Now 0 in the x direction, so that's just a negative 4y is equal to negative 40. Divide both sides by that negative 4, and we get positive 10. Great. All right, so Jerome was given a coordinate point and a slope. He used this information to write the equation in point-slope formula. Now I ask him, what was the coordinate point that Jerome was given? Now remember that the natural formula for this is y minus y1 is x minus x1. And notice how these negative signs are already with the formula. So that means, like, for the example, our x coordinate is just the 1. That negative came with the formula. Here is a 1. But I see that this y turned into a positive. If it started off negative and now it's positive, that means we have to bring in a negative 4. You can also think about it as the opposite. What's the opposite of negative 1? Positive 1. The opposite of a positive 4? Negative 4. And the slope is just our value. All right. Similar process here. We got to think opposites. X is with a positive 7. It's a negative 7. Y is with a negative 3. It's a positive 3. And the slope, always the number sitting right there. All right, a little word problem here for us. Vincent wants to have his bike fixed. He is comparing prices between Mr. Fix-It and Bikeland. Both options have a charge for parts as well as a charge per hour. of labor. The information for each company is provided below, where X is the number of hours of labor and Y is the total cost. All right, so they give us an equation for one, and for the other one, they give us a table. It wants to know which company has the larger charge per hour of labor. Right? This is us looking for slope. Right? Per hour, right, is going to be that rate of change. Looking for that slope or rate of change. So let's compare the two. Mr. Fix-It, we can see he has a slope of 5. All right, but what about Bikeland? Well, as I increase for 1 hour of labor, my price increases by 10. So it looks like Bikeland has a rate of change of $10 per hour. So which company has the larger rate of change? Bikeland is larger. Right? Which company charges more for parts? All right, that's going to be our y-intercept, right? We only have to buy the parts one time. Let's talk about our y-intercept. I can see it. Mr. Fix-It has a y-intercept of $20. Right? And these would have dollar signs with them as well. Now, for Bikeland, remember y-intercept's always 0 in the x direction. Here is our y-intercept right there. So Bikeland has that $15 y-intercept. Who charges more for parts? Mr. Fix-It. Okay? Because which company would be cheaper for 5 hours of labor? And it wants us to justify our answer. The best way to find this out is to just take their equation, plug in 5 for x, or, in this case, if you wanted to extend the table down, you could. All right, so let's justify it here. So here's Mr. Fix-It. I'm going to take his equation, but instead of x, I'm going to plug in 5. 5 times 5 is 25, plus the 20, times for 5 hours of labor, $45. Let's compare that now to Bikeland. All right, now we know from here what the slope and the y-intercept for Bikeland. So theirs is $10 per hour, and then they have a y-intercept plus 15. So 10 times 5 is 50, plus the 15. Looks like Bikeland will be $65. So with that in mind, who would be cheaper? Mr. Fix-It. All right. Now, this is a little work on function. It says for the function f of x, remember f of x is just another way of saying y. It says what is f of negative 4? Remember to find this is just taking everywhere plugging in a negative 4. All right, 5 times negative 4, that's a negative 20. Negative 20 plus 3 tells us that f of negative 17. Okay? And then for this one it says, what is the input when the output is 13? Output is like our y variable, or this f of x. So this time we're setting up our equation equal to 13. We're trying to solve for the input. Right? Input is that x. We're just solving this equation for x. Subtract 3 from both sides. 11/10 is equal to 5x. When I divide both sides by that 5, x is equal to a 2. Alright? So that's the input. If I wanted to get an output of 13, I have to put in a 2.